So good evening. Yeah, I've been asked to actually share some words with us. I do not know what to share. I should tell you to say something to you, to men. And we have a woman men here. I'm kidding. Okay, but that's okay. So I was just thinking of what to share with you. I thought about different topics. Think about Lent, think about what you can do, maybe in the church. And then just this evening, something came to my mind and I said, okay, let me look at something about fatherhood and the child response. Now, so it's titled Fathers, what did I call it? I wrote something here. I said a father's church involvement and the child response styles. And then that's actually basically what just came. This just about a few hours before I went for mass. Don't worry, I can write that fast. So before I went for mass, and then that came to my mind. And it's on the premise that the laity is very important in the church. Without you, the priest, we are nobody. You know what I mean? And of course, by definition, you know that laity is the people who are not ordained in the church. Just as simple as that. But we are all doing the service of God. In fact, you reach more people than I do. I reach people only within the four walls of the church. You reach people everywhere you go. So you are more the apostles than even us. And that's why the priest at every moment commission to say, go, the masses send them, go and serve go and serve the Lord. So when you go, as many as you are, as many people you are touching, meaning that the work of the laity is also to minister the word of God to people they have contact with. And of course, the laity, there's no way you talk about the laity without talking about family. So because people who come to church have families, different families, father, mother, and the children. And of course, you can look at what the church is today. Even from we just finished mass, you can count how many men, how many women, how many children. So you probably see men who are far adult, like in their older age, from 50, 60, 70, 80. And then you begin to see also children from maybe about 5, 6, 7. The youth, the young adults, where are they? So that's the question that comes to mind. So where are these people? Of course, they are our children. Some of them have their own families. Some go to church wherever they are. Some don't even bother. Some are very busy. And then, I always say the tactics of the devil is to keep us busy. When you keep you busy, you don't have the time to think about things of God. And that's why when you use busy as an acronym, it becomes being under Satan's yoke. Being under Satan's yoke. Busy. Okay, yeah. So it keeps us busy. And of course, that age is a time where you are very much productive. You want to vent for your family and a lot of things. And then we do that. So there's this gap of people. And of course, because the laity sustain the church because of the principle of posterity. You know what I mean? Because you keep reproducing, and it is expected that when you have your children take over from you, their children take care of, like we keep taking care of taking charge of what our parents were doing, we start doing, and that's how the church continues from the time of the apostles down to this period. Of course, there are little conversions here and there, but apart from the conversion, is the family that sustains the church. But when you look at the way the church is today, then you begin to ask, what is going on? Now, so when you look at the family, of course, parents are blamed, and I'm going to talk about that many times as if parents are not doing anything. And then, but I don't believe that parents don't do anything. they do many things. But it's just that sometimes maybe we don't understand the dynamics of every child, even you sitting down here today. And I will be explaining some things. You will see whether you fit in. Okay. So that's the way it goes. And when I said the family is supposed to continue to, they become the sustaining power, the sustaining force of the church. I can imagine I'm a priest. I don't have any child. I die. There's no replacement. You die, you have replacement. But you have kids, whatever, you have a replacement. I don't have replacement. So you sustain the church better than I do. You know what I mean? So, but then those who are supposed to take over from us, they seems not to be in the picture. So cognitively, you begin to think about what will the future of the church be? Of course, when you go by the word of Christ, even what we read today, maybe that gives us a little hope. The power of hell will not overcome it. And of course, when Jesus will say in Matthew chapter 28, verse 20, or 18 to 20, go into the whole world, make disciples of all nations, baptizing them in the name of the Father and the Son and the Holy Spirit. And behold, I'm with you, even to the end of time. That's God's promise. It's been sustaining. We are still much in number, even when we are saying we don't have more young people. But whether we like it or not, whether it's in Africa or in America or in Asia, it's still the same story. It's just that the percentages may not be the same. And of course, it's not the case that some of them they are not Christians. Some are Christians, actually, they just change to other denominations. You know, possibly Catholic Church is too dull for them. It's not lively, like punky kind of a thing. So they went to where life is, you go there and that kind of a thing. But some actually lost in the picture and entirely. They don't have that time. They are busy chasing power, pleasure, prosperity, looking for whatever can boost their pride. And so the issue of God, which is the greatest organizing designer, is not in the picture. Maybe later in years they can, but now they don't have that time. But you see, they are going to start having their children in that situation also. And of course, when the father is not there, the mother is not there, what do you find? The children do also. And today, they are busy also. They are busy, The devil keeps us busy. Now, they are not busy with job. They are busy with phone, the iPad. So they can't let you take that away from them. You take it away from them, they can destroy the whole house. So they keep busy. Even time to study, they are not studying, they are busy. Even time they are supposed to sleep, they are not sleeping, they are busy. We are all still busy. So now that's my reflection. So what happened to these people? So I tried to do a little study about, just quickly to have a little thing. And of course, we begin to look at the role of parents in the life of children. And whether you like it or not, there have been studies that have been done that actually shows that parents have significant influence on their children. Very great significance on their children. And then I was checking one study sometimes ago, long time, and I think it's graphical. It was in a histogram. It's showing that children who have both parents are about 75% likely that they will go to church. If the both parents go to church, about 75% of them will go to church. Parents who has the father going to church, maybe even not mother, just the father going to church and taking that child to the church, is about 50% chances that child will go to church. Those who have mothers going to church, they're about 25% likely that they will continue going to church. Of course, it's not conclusive. There are still different, they are still like, maybe there are other factors other than the parenting or whatever. But at least the study that have shown, they've done one in Swiss in 2000, Another one was done in the USA, and they were reporting almost the same thing. Possibly if you get to another culture, maybe it will be different. But at least for those two ones, at least it's showing that there's a likelihood that father has a greater influence. And then, of course, when you look at this trend of single parenthood that is also multiplying today, when the father alone is taking care of the child, or the mother alone that is taking care of the child, that's to give us the problem of looking at, okay, what is the likelihood of continuity? I was citing a case recently right in this church, in this room here. I was taking, that was about this long time. I left here. Oh my God, I left here about 7 years ago. So that to be about around that 7-8 years ago, just in this upper room here. And I was having a baptism class, pre-baptismal instruction for the parents and the godparents. And I was a godparent there, and I said, "Are you a Catholic, sir?" And he said, "Oh, no, yeah, I was baptized, but my parents did not take permission from me to baptize me." You know, yeah, I was not consulted. And I didn't know what to tell him that time, but later reflection, when I teach, I still cite that situation today and say, but did he ask for permission to be taken to school? But you see, everything we challenge things that have to do with the church today. We don't challenge things that have to do with the world. A lot of people will say, I'm free to do what I like to do, but they know you can't mess with the state law. You are free to tell church, hell with you, but you are not free to tell the state, hell with you. Seat belt is there when you have to use your seat belt. Even when you are not comfortable in your seat belt, you know you've got to use that seat belt. Because if you don't do it, you know the consequence if you are caught. They're not going to know whether it's comfortable for you or not comfortable for you. But when it comes to issue of God, we seem to be very gentle, and we do what we like. Possibly because God have not been giving you a knock in the head. Even when it comes to contribution, the same way. We know you have to file your taxes, whether you have the tax refund or not. You want to file the tax, because if you don't file the tax and they discover that they pay you somewhere, you are in trouble with the IRS. But you have tithes to pay in the church. Do you care? You don't care about that because nobody is running after you. So, possibly because God is so cool and so gentle, that also could be a contributor. But we still know, at least with studies, that parents have a great influence and fathers have greater influence than mother when it comes to continuity. And I've had a lot of people actually consulting me, talking about, "No, father, please, I don't know what's wrong with this child. Is it because the father is not in the picture?" They still want to feel, is it because the father is not in the picture that the child is misbehaving? Now, looking at, and of course, we know that parents do actually participate in church activities. We do. Different ways, different forms. We go to church, if not weekly. Some of us go daily. You know what I mean? And then some go weekly. Some go bi-weekly. And whichever way they tend to do, depending on your nature of work and other factors. Sometimes we get engaged in the church activities like choir, like, other organization kind of a thing. Some of us volunteer, don't we? We volunteer also. But sometimes when you see all this activity, we come alone. You are going to church, you go alone. You are volunteering in the church, you do it alone. You are very active, you are active alone. Sometimes your wife is not even active with you. Possibly you are even neglecting your wife. And your wife is complaining, "You are too much in the church, I don't even get to see you." Let alone the kids. But I know when I was growing up, sometimes your parents take you along. Let's go. And as kids, they are able to do that because we have no choice as children. So we just follow anyways. Even when you don't want to go, you follow. By the time you are becoming teenager, you start changing your voice. "I don't feel like going today." In some culture, That's not an option. You have to go. In some other culture, okay, and we let it be. I deal with some students in the school that are teenagers. And when I ask many of them, of course, some even today will tell you, I don't care about any God or whatever, I'm an atheist. And these are people in their 18, 19, 20 years. Peer influence. And those who claim to be Christian, not even Catholic, let me not go too far away, Catholics, and you ask, were you in church last Sunday? Mm-mm. Were you in church last Sunday? Mm-mm. When was the last time you were in church? But possibly when they go back to their parents, they will still go to the church because they need the parents' money. So they have to obey them. I mean, they have to be gentle and respond very well to their parents because they need the money to go back to school. So they don't want to mess up that. So they follow them to church. But when they get back to the city, back to the college, where nobody is watching. Now, so the part of it is the fact that, okay, when we are active and we are doing it alone, wherever, or maybe even we take them to follow us to, let's say, you say, let's go and the children follow you. Why are they actually following you if they do? And why are they not following you if they do not? So that's what comes to that topic, father's activity in the church and child response. There's a part that the world is not seeing that I'm very passionate about, and that's what I call child response style. You know, we have parenting style, right? We have 4 parenting styles. We have authoritative, we have authoritarian, we have permissive, we have neglecting. I'm going to explain, and you can tell which one are you. Now, authoritative parenting could be the mother, could be the father, can be, doesn't matter who, is that you are very strict and your words are almost the final. You know what I mean? You can really do good spanking. You know what I mean? So the kids are actually afraid of you. And then what is good about it is that before you begin to spank your child or being hard on your child or to seize the phone or whatever, you tell them why you are doing what you are doing. So I always give an example. The child wants to go out and they said, no, you are not going. They said, Daddy, I want to step out. Or Mom, I'm going out. And they said, no, you cannot go. And the child said, oh, but I said, I'm talking and you are talking. But do you know why you will not go? Have you done your homework? You see, now they begin to tell you the reason why they will not let you go, because there's something you are supposed to do you have not done. Authoritarian, that's authoritative. Authoritarian will go almost the same way. Daddy, I am going. Where are you going? Sit down there. No, I said, sit down there. Are you okay? I'm talking and you are still talking. No explanation, no reason for the action. They just do it. You just have to obey me. That's all. It's final. Okay. Permissive. Permissive, we go with, Daddy, I'm going out. Oh, no, you are not going. Nobody that you are not. But you know you have not done your homework. No, Daddy, I have to go. Okay. You can go. But make sure you come back before 7. Okay. They still let you go anyways. But make sure you come back before 7. Neglecting. The 4th one. Or they call it sometimes uninvolved. Daddy, I'm going out. What do you want to go? I need to go and see my friend. Okay. Just go. No timing, no check, no whatever. Just do what you gotta do. You know which way you belong anyway. I don't have to ask you. You can fix where you belong. So those actions, we believe, actually influence the way a child responds to certain things. But before I say a lot of studies have been done in that child, and they see a real a pattern, correlation between that and the fact that a child responds to that. When the child is good, it means possibly maybe you are authoritative. When your child is too laissez-faire, they know it because you are, and then it goes that way. So that gives the room for us more and more to blame parents for the actions. And again, then you can relate it to what I started with, that because you are going to church, you are not going with your child, it's because you are not serious with your child. So they blame you for it. But there's another part we are not looking at. We forget also that every child is unique. Every child is unique, has his own temperament, has his own psychological traits or personality traits, has his own way of looking at the world. In fact, from the time a child is conceived, I tell parents this day, do you think you are the one shaping your child? I say, sure. That's okay. A little experiment. How many kids have you? I have 3. Good. You train them all? Yes. You and your wife? Yes. Or you and your husband? Yes. You use the same style? Yes. Do they behave the same way? No. Okay. Why is it that they do not behave the same way if you are the one having influence on them? Are you with me? Yeah. You are using the same style. Even though sometimes those styles change. The older you go, the softer you become. But notwithstanding, even when they are still very close to when you are very agile, you are using almost the same style, but none. Even all of us sitting down here, you equally know your siblings. You know how you grew up, and you can tell the different way each person was behaving. The good, the bad, and the ugly. You know what I mean? So what could have been responsible for that? Of course, it's a lot of interaction between nature and nurture. And of course, nurture part comes with the issue of the faith too. The way we impart faith is still part of the nurturing of a child. But every child is unique. In fact, you have no control of them when they are in the womb. When the egg is formed, you start having this little tail, and then starting having this kind of a curve, whatever. The limb starts coming out, whatever. But you see that big part that looks like this. That's the central nervous system, the brain, and the spinal cord. And the first big one with that little tail is that the brain, actually what we call the old brain. And that old brain has the memory of everything that child ever did in the whole wide world. Of course, you may not remember some because it's in the unconscious. Mom, you want me to give you a test? Me? Yes. Wow. I can give you a test if you don't mind. Can I? Okay. All right. What's today's date? 23rd. 23rd? Are we in 23rd? 22nd. 22nd of which month? February. Which year? 2024. Okay. 22nd February 2020. Where were you? Here in US. Yeah, where exactly? I just came back from Nigeria. Okay. But this time, the time now is 7:58. Home doing what? Listening to news. Okay, which news were you listening to that day? Local news. Can you remember what they were saying? No. Okay. You can remember. Just calm down. I'm serious. I'm letting you remember. You see, yeah. So, no, yeah, don't worry. Look, picture that day. 2020. 2020. I had just come back from Nigeria. Mm-hmm. Probably discussing with friends about home. Okay. But you said you were watching news? Local news. Local news. So do you remember what thing they said that day? You can remember. Don't say no because I'm trying to let you remember. When you say no, you block. Okay, now, okay. What I'm trying to do, you see, even on a good day, I'm only leading you to remember that I'm not the one, they are in your brain. I'm only processing it for you to bring them where you kept them. Everything is there, down to the news of that day. And if you give me a chance, I keep processing, you will know exactly what they talk about that day and what you, don't worry, it's just an little experiment. So you have all the memories. So when the child is in the womb, we are not in control apart from what the woman eats. Are you with me? The umbilical cord, because that's where you feed. So when the woman is drinking alcohol, it can affect the baby, all those things. But apart from that, the child is autonomous. Make him move the way he wants to move, rolling, sucking the finger, doing like that, kicking the mother. You are not in control. So we used to say when the child is born, there's a popular saying that that child is tabula rasa. What? Tabula rasa, meaning is a blank slate, that the child is born with nothing. And I said that's not true. That child has all the knowledge of what it is to live in the womb. Of course, he has interaction with our world. And I've also done experiment. I've asked many pregnant women, sometimes when there's a music outside, does your child dance inside? And they say, okay. Okay, you see. She's also confirming. Because that child is interacting. It's like being in Nigeria, never been to America, and they're telling you about America. And you're like, okay. Then the day you get to America, say, oh, so this is the way it is like. That's how that child is in the womb. You know, thinking he's in the Philippines, wanting to come to America. You know what I mean? Then he gets to America and say, oh, so when they come, they are trying to understand. Now they are hearing that man's voice that was very gentle, and they keep smiling to that person when they are hearing the voice. Yeah, they respond. And if it's a man that was very nasty, always shouting, so when they come to life, they say, oh, so that's that guy. That's the guy whose voice startled me. And the title, be avoiding the guy. You are not in control of that. They are making that decision. Now, taking you to where I'm going. So every child has that. And it's a part of survival instinct. So when they come and they see how things are, they are making sense of what you are saying, what you are doing, and everything you are acting. They are making sense of them. Making sense of them. So in my study, I came up with what they call 4 child response styles. That the children respond in 4 ways. There may be more than that, but I just have 4. So I grew them into 4. One is adherer, to adhere, to respond like almost positively, like in agreement, whatever. The adherer child seems to be the kind of children you would tell, go and do that, and they will do it. Go there, and they will do that. And then you want them, I want you to study medicine, they will do it. My mom is a teacher, I want to be a teacher. They are good role model. I mean, they follow the parents like a role model. Even when they are adults, they are still hearing their father talking or their mother talking. My father won't like that. My mother will not. They are still hearing that kind of a voice. And those ones are most likely to continue in your faith. Most likely, they will follow you. They say, I'm born Catholic, I will die Catholic. They may not know what they are doing, but it's the tradition of the church. It's the tradition of their family. They are there. They are going nowhere. Are you following? Are you following? they are responding positively. But when I mean positively, it doesn't really mean positive. Because if it's a man that used to abuse the wife, they tend to also do the same thing. They think it's okay to beat a woman. If the father smokes, they want to smoke. The father drinks, they want to drink. They are just good followers. Are you with me? Does that make sense in any way? Okay. So, when it comes to the issue of your activity in church, they possibly put their leg in your footstep. The way you used to do things, they are also doing what you are doing. They are active. And if you don't go to church, they ain't go to church. If you are not going, they are not going. Those are the adherers. Then we have the rejectors. The rejector seems to go against everything you're talking about. They don't follow your ways. They don't follow your path. They have their own mind. Are you with me? You want them to study medicine. They say, I want to be a musician. You fight that, you fight that, say, that's what I want to do. But also it's not negative, not because they are disobedient. You may be drinking and you are an alcoholic and they say, I don't want to be like my father. I'm not going to drink. You may be an abuser and say, I will never touch my wife. You see the way it goes. They don't follow your pattern. They do something different from what you are doing. Of course, you may always be on the loggerhead with them because they change the family dynamics. They change the family policies. But that's who they are. But this is the way they are responding from what they are picking, from what you are doing. You are not the one. It's not about you. It's about them responding to what you are doing. So those ones, if you are going to church, they may not take church that serious. They will look at you like, why are you abandoning everybody? You are always in church. And if you are not going, they can say, I want to be, my father, I don't like this lifestyle. I want to be in church all the time. It could be other way. Now you have the third group that is called the falser. False. Falser. Falser. This kind, you think you actually know them, but you don't have an idea. They may be quiet, gentle in the house, and you say, I know my child. But out there, oh wow, they are something else. Something different from what you know them to be. Are you with me? Are you with me? They do that. Also, it's a survivor's instinct. They don't want to get into your trouble, so they keep to what you want to. So you call them an adherer anyways, but they are not. But outside, when they are freer, people like that, you find them, you think they are introvert. They don't talk. You say, oh, it's too reserved. But when they get to where they are free, you'll be like, what? You? But you see, that's their safe place is not in the house, it's outside. They explore, they flee free, and you'll be wondering, no, I can't believe it. What? The forces. Then you have the nonchalant. Nonchalant. They are also very quiet. You don't really know what is going on in their mind. They are not like the forcer that is behaving. No, anywhere they are quiet like that, you are fighting, they are not contributing. You are doing anything. You say, let's go to church. They just follow you. What do they talk about in church today? They are not, but they know. They have the answer. But they are not just responding to you. But they just look like they are in that level of flow. Now, what is all this is that, of course, as we are doing our activity in the church, they are also watching. So in terms of percentages, about 67% of us are adherers. We follow. And you see, it's almost connecting to the other study that says 75% of those who have both parents going to church will go. That's close. Yeah. But something shocked me. When I asked a question in that study that, will you like to train your children the way you were trained or the way you were brought up? Majority of adherers said no. They said no. But you see, that was a study. I didn't have the time to ask another question. But when I'm discussing, as I'm discussing with you, I used to ask the question again, and they will say no still. Majority, not all of them. When I asked, why not? They said, I was doing that because I was afraid. I'm an adherer because I was afraid. But guess what? Unfortunately, even as an adult, they are still adhering to their parents. Even though they will still not train their children the way they were trained. They were still adhering because that fear is still there. My mom, my dad, I don't want to have any problem with them. Just say it, I will do it. So you most likely find them in church because whether the church is flowing well or not flowing well for them, they are staying with that tradition. Are you with me? But still it all begins from the fact that how do you actually nurture them? So most likely children would nurture. They will respond to your nurturing because they see you as a role model. Not all your kids, but majority of your kids will. But so when we don't do that, of course, that is left out. But now you see, I'm talking to the wrong people. Your kids are grown. You're probably not joining anybody anymore. You see, that's it. Okay, at least one is here. Do you have a wife? You have a kid? How many?
Just one.
Just one. Okay. Ah, congratulations. Okay, but you are hearing what I'm saying. So you've got to really present good life to that child. But if you are not going to church, you are busy. Your wife is busy. The child will also be busy. Except the child becomes a rejecter. I say, I don't want to be that busy. And that's that child's such, not your choice. That child is the one making that decision. That's what I'm saying. So, what do we do is that we've got to, as men, got to create a lot of course, this is not just you alone, influencing us, carrying some, moving people in the parish to make sure they create a lot of activity for men. The problem in our world today is that we focus on women and children, and we left men out. So women meet a lot. They have avenue. They can decide to go on casino, to casino. You know, they do all those kind of a thing to keep, they can say, okay, they want to take a cruise together. Men don't have that time. We don't have that time. But within the church, you can have coffee group, you can have retreat together, and thank you are doing this. That's part of the thing. But when you are doing it too, are you incorporating your children? You see what I'm saying? Otherwise, it goes with you. Who will follow after you? And they are not too old, they are not too big to actually be part of course, if they are around. And if they are not around, wherever they are, and you have the same group there, say, can you join that? Or when you organize retreat, you invite them to join you in the retreat. Couples retreat and everything you do about that. So that your life as men of faith is properly handed over to your children to carry on. And they also give to their children to carry on. But what I've said today, they may not do that 100%. There will always be those who will not follow your path. And when they do that, it doesn't mean because they are bad children. They just don't follow that way. And don't kill yourself over that. But you'll be able to say, I try my best. I do my best. So your involvement in church, because your children are watching. Again, like now it's you I will be talking to. Your child will be watching, yeah. Will be watching what you are doing. The way you kneel down, the way you comport yourself in the church, the child is watching and making sense out of them. And responding to the in our own way, not in your way. Okay? So that's what I have to share with you today, and I think I've shared enough. Any question?
Any question? So, Father, with so much dynamics about children and their independence, and then there's so many ways how they respond. So, how does the parent, in a way, guide them so that they, because in the Christian faith, our greatest gift is to transfer our faith to children. So, how do we basically, guide them if the parents is already also not within the church, meaning they just go there.
Don't worry. He's speaking you. Don't worry.
They go there like only on occasions, Christmas or maybe Lent. So if the parents are like that already, how can we, to become a role model when the parents itself are not a role model already?
Yeah, and that's why you have started a movement. And your movement is like a light, a candle that is lit. So your mission is to light more candles. But guess what? When we are doing Easter period, some people have it hard to light their candle, You put it like that, you still light it, still go off. So that's also is life. Actually, in the principle of change, I don't know whether you know this, in the principle of change, there are 20% of people that you don't need to preach to. They're already doing what you want them to do. They don't need to be enticed or encouraged or do whatever. They will just do it. And there are other 20%. No matter what you do, preach, bring Jesus down. They're not going to listen. Exactly what they will do is what they are doing. So you are not talking to the first 20, even as a preacher. When you are preaching in the church, you are not talking to the first 20. They know their faith. They know where they are. They know where they are learning more, but they know what they are doing. You have another 20, they are just there. Probably they are the one counting the money the way you are counting to know whether your money is correct. And they are not contributing. They are not contributing, but they want to know how much is coming in, and how you spend them.
The 80%.
The other 20, no. There are 20 and there are 20. Now, when you are preaching and trying to light the candle, like I said, you are dealing with that 60. Whether you can move them to this side or they will go to that side. These are the people you are trying to convince. The first 20, they know what they are doing. The other 20 on the other end, they are not ready for you. But the 60, these are the people that are trying to listen to make sense of what you are saying. That when you are talking, trying to make a project, trying to do something, that people you are talking to, whether they will respond. Now, what does that mean? As a parent, don't forget you can only do what you can. I always ask the question, maybe it's good to ask this question. Joseph and Mary, what parenting style was theirs? Authoritative, authoritarian, permissive, neglecting? From my explanation here, you can tell.
Maybe when Jesus is still young.
Yeah, of course. We know their story, a little about their story.
Yeah, but when he was already...
Anyway, they are not in the picture anymore.
Yeah. And when he was adult already, he's already... That's why...
But looking at the tradition of the Jewish, it's basically authoritative because they basically bring them every time in all the services. So I presume, since Jesus is a Jew, he grew up also in that manner.
But do you remember the incident in the temple?
Yeah.
When he was 12 years old?
He didn't follow his parents.
Yeah.
He won't be able to talk to authoritative like that. They say, don't you know I'm doing my father's work? What? They will spank hell out of you. Anyway, let me leave that.
At one point
Did you watch that Netflix Young Sheldon?
No, I haven't. Okay.
It's good to know that the father has the more influence on the...
Honesty, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Mm.
That's good to know because for me, my youngest child is the only one with me because he's 23. I'm happy he's going to church and now he has a girlfriend that is Catholic, so he goes to church. So I'm happy with that. But now with my grandkids, because I will be having my third grandkid, do we as a grandfather
Have influence on them?
how could I through the father? Because the father, I know that, I mean, it's good that the father is my son, is not the, so I could influence my son, maybe to influence my grandkids, but of course.
Yeah, of course, sometimes there's a bond between grandparents and the grandchildren. Am I right?
Yeah.
Even stronger bond sometimes with them. Yeah. So when they see your lifestyle, they can also tend to follow your lifestyle. Because what I believe is that sometimes children go away from what the parents are doing because sometimes when we go to church, we do like this. Sign of holiness, right? I say, don't talk. But when you get home, they see a different father. They see a different mother that is not behaving according to the action in the church. And they are seeing it. They are not talking, but they are responding to say, no, that's hypocrisy. Yeah, they see. They may not challenge you. They may not do anything, but they see what you do. So they make their decision to say, no, I don't want to be that way. You understand what I mean?
Yes.
I don't want to be that way.
That's hypocrisy, Father.
Yeah, that's the way the child may most likely interpret it. Because it sees you in the church, you are the holiest man.
Because they need to know that when you're in the church, it's solemn.
Yes, and when they know that when your life in the church also supposed to follow you home, but your life is different at home.
Of course, Father. You can apply when you're in the church and then at home.
You are supposed to apply what you do in the church there. Honestly, seriously, when the priest say go in peace, that life, not that you get to that door, you pull the church one, you leave it there. You not know your life. Okay, let me use this way. I deal with young people. One question they used to ask me is, what dress should I not wear to the church? You see, of course, there are dresses for different occasions.
Yeah, that's a
for pool, for this, for that. But you know the way I always answer is simply, anything or any dress you consider not fit for the church is not fit for anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
If you consider that this dress is not good for the church, it should not be worn anywhere. Because your life of faith, you live the faith. You don't live the faith. So the living the faith means that if you're a Christian, you are Christian anywhere. You are not only Christian in the church and another person outside. You are not a Christian in the church, but a terrorist at work. Your Christian life should be reflected at work, at home, anywhere you are. Your Christianity is not situational.
So, Father, which is better to wear? Is it,
That's the way I can only answer you. Anything you consider not fit for the church should not be worn anywhere.
so is it better to wear simple?
I do not know how to qualify it.
Some are wearing very extravagant.
I do not know how to qualify it. Anything you fit, you feel this is not good for the church.
Because the reason why I'm asking, Father, the reason why I'm asking, because me and my wife, we're always arguing.
Okay.
I every time we go to church, I wear simple.
Okay.
But my wife told me, you better wear decent.
But when you go to party, what do you wear?
Party, same.
Simple.
Sometimes, most of the time, I wear simple t-shirt and jeans.
Sometimes it's not appropriate.
That's because, Father, if you're thinking of some other thinking, but you're not. For me, whatever you feel. I
You see, I'm not qualifying whether it's simple or gorgeous or whatever. The yardstick that I feel as a Christian, I should judge myself. I'm Christian everywhere. So and I'm appearing as a Christian. So whatever I call decent for me to wear to the church should be decent for me anywhere.
So which is better, Father? Decent, look decent, or simple?
You see, I'm not the one, I cannot make that job because we are different. Let me give you an example. It's true. I like examples. Mm-hmm. How much do you think my shoe is?
Shiny. With the gold.
Yeah, with gold.
Can you see?
Yeah. Shiny.
How much is this? If they ask you to come and buy it.
You don't know.
Yeah, just make a guess. Of course, you don't know, but to make a guess. If you are to buy this shoe, how much can you buy it?
It has a gold, so it looks like expensive.
How much can you buy it?
I do not know.
He's asking the price.
If you sell it to me and you have the same size, I will buy it for $50.
$50, that's okay? Yes, Daddy?
Yeah.
It's fashion. How much? Estimate.
No, it's all in your mind. Whatever the taste you have.
Don't worry. There's something I wanted to say. How much can you buy it?
In your assessment, how much? For me, I could buy that for $50. It's shiny. It's fancy.
So what's your point, Father?
Don't just let me feel. I'm just coming.
Yes, the price.
$39.99.
That
looks like $200.
I don't even put a price on that.
Don't worry, it's hypothetical. If you are to buy this, how much can you buy it?
Just in case we say, just that is in the, that's in the shop.
Give you $25 or $20.
Okay? And you say $200, you say $50, we are all different. Actually, if it's $25, I will not buy it. I bought it for $15.
15. Yeah, I overpriced it.
Online. No, actually, if you get it in another store, could be $200. But where I bought it, they sell things cheap. It's brand new, not used.
Yeah.
But it's online. Temu. Yes. From Temu. And the day it went to 20, I said, I'm not ready to buy. I look for it. It goes down. Because by my standard, I don't spend too much money on clothing and shoes. That is me. You see, I can't use me to judge you. But guess what? Phone, I can spend $2,000. You see the madness? So it's not about how. But of course, if I do this way, you will not say I'm not decent. And I can do like this to anywhere at any time. Actually, on a good day, I don't wear shoes. It's recently I started wearing shoes. I wear palm sandals. And even if you tell me to come and see president, I will wear my palm sandal. You see what I'm saying? However, that's where I can wear anywhere. Me. So when you say simple, that's how you dress. And you are comfortable with yourself before your God and anywhere at any time like that. But you see, you can be in a condition.
But being simple and comfortable is two different things, Father.
Being simple and
comfortable.
I don't know what you mean.
Comfortable.
I understand that. I'm just saying I don't know what they mean by comfortable.
Because when you say simple, it doesn't matter how much the value of your dress. But being comfortable is all about you, because the reason when you go to church, it's not about how you're comfortable, it's how you.
Well, you're supposed to be a code in the church.
Because let's say, Father, you're wearing very extravagant dress, but your heart and your spirit is not ready.
What do you call extravagant?
Like very expensive.
Does the person see it that way?
It does not mean.
You see, get the message.
My point, Father, is when you go to church, it's not your physical.
I understand. I'm just giving a simple analogy of the message here is not about the quality or how expensive or how cheap what to wear.
Yeah.
It's about presentation.
Yeah.
And I said, whatever you think is not presentable to the Lord is not presentable anywhere.